friends, hello and welcome back. Hope everyone is having a lovely day. So we are jumping into franchise mode. We're going to use the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to take a quick look at this team, talk a little Connor McDavid trade action. Now, I was just thinking about this. This is what I love about hockey and what I love about baseball is they're such team-oriented sports that even having the absolute undisputed best players in the league, that don't guarantee you a championship. Heck, that barely guarantees you playoffs sometimes. And we've seen it with Mike Trout on the Angels. Really, that Trout and Shohei, and they still couldn't do anything. And you look at Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl in Edmonton. And the little playoff success they have, and even a few years where they was, struggling to even make playoffs, because there's so much more to these sports than just one player. And I love it. I love the parity. I love how important being a team player is. Not saying these guys aren't team players, they are, but it's just saying how important the rest of your team is, having some depth is. Looking at this team though, we're going to see what happens if we say, hey Connor, you're going to be out the door. And we're going to see if we can build around you, because again, the team is so important. We're not going to build around him, but build around this team. The team's so important. What if we pick up a couple solid players across the board here? I mean, this is a team right now. We're saying that Bouchard 85, Ekholm 86, Nurse 85, CC 82. I mean, we can get a good defenseman, another forward. We obviously need a forward to replace McDavid. And most importantly, a goaltender. Can this team pick up a goaltender with no more Stuart Skinner starting here? I mean, you look at this team and say, I think the answer here is you need a winger. Gagne's still in the league. What is he, 34? Is that how old he is? I feel like he's been in the league forever. Gagne, I mean, you could possibly get a bottom six player as well. I mean, you imagine you get a bottom six, a winger, a defender, and a goaltender for Connor McDavid. Now, would that happen? Would a team be willing to fork up that much for the greatest player in the league right now today? That's a good question. I'm curious. I think we start the bases off at goalie. See what kind of goalie overall we can get that is not a high value, but is a high overall. And I mean, we're looking right off the bat like Linus Olmark, a 90 overall. Connor Hellebuyck, same story. Let's talk about Connor Hellebuyck. Does Winnipeg have what we would want across the board for Connor McDavid? I mean, you have Morrissey, that's a good pickup. You have Kyle Connor, that's the winger we're looking for. And we're stretching it. We're stretching it just a little bit. I understand, but we're going to look for a fourth liner here as well. I mean, let's talk about just a little depth, maybe a Nemestikov. I can play center. I mean, we're trading you all of these for Connor freaking McDavid, the best player in the league. And right now, it's saying you're overpaying. We're going to make you pay more. The last thing I want to do is undersell Connor McDavid. So we're going to make sure, just in case, we're not doing that. We're going to add on Cole Perfetti. And that is way too much. And we're going to goaltender, a defenseman, a winger, another winger, and Cole Perfetti that can flex to the center wing position. And I think, again, you add all these players to this team, you're pretty much ripping the guts out of this Winnipeg Jets team for Connor McDavid. Would Winnipeg be willing to do that? Right off the bat. No questions asked. Winnipeg takes the trade. Now you have to wonder, did we get enough in return? We just got a top line goalie. We got an elite goalie. We got a first line defenseman. We got a first line winger. We got two solid depth players. I mean, we just topped out in four different areas. You need depth in the playoffs. And then you pick up them big fish. All for Connor freaking McDavid. And again, we're still +5 in that first line because Leon Draisaitl is still going to be there and he's still going to be disgusting. The question you now have is you look at this team and say, hey, what about the second line? It is still kind of top heavy. Did we get enough in return? Cole Perfetti is now bolstering that third unit. You go to the defense, you go John Morrissey, Matthias Ekholm on that first unit. You +3, looking good. Now you have Nurse and Bouchard. All of a sudden, that third line's looking glory. Full. Here we can kind of piece that together a little bit. Kind of a mess. Look at that Connor Hellebuyck. Oh man, I'm be honest. I gotta know Edmonton. Now here's the thing. This is obviously for just 1 year, but let's say, because this would have to be the situation for Edmonton. Let's say you felt like, oh, Kyle Connor's 26. Hyman's not part of the deal. Let's just look how old some of these are. I mean, you're getting a young Cole Perfetti. We know that. Morrissey is 28. Hellbuck's 30. But let's say every one of these guys are 25 years old. Would you be taking this trade and saying, see you later, Connor McDavid? Is Connor McDavid worth essentially 3 elite players? Because if it's me, I'm going to take that deal. I might sound crazy, but what's really doing it for me here is saying you got those 3 players and you picked up Cole Perfetti, which is important for some depth. You really did need that depth. And in the Mesnikov, again, same story. You need to have these guys in the bottom 6 to win playoff games. And then you bolster up the defense. And if you're Edmonton, the reason, as much as you've had Connor McDavid, the big part of winning games in the postseason is the defense and the goaltending. And you just took that sort of step to get there. Let's see if EA thinks that was a good decision. We're going to get through this season. And, we might talk way over our head and EA might right off the bat say that was a terrible trade. Why would you ever do that? Or they might look and say, hey, McDavid can, they play him a lot. So McDavid only play a third of the game, a little over a third. You put Morrissey out there that can play half the game. Dang near. Hellbuck plays the whole game. You're going to be able to swap out a couple of the other guys. Who's to say Cole Perfetti doesn't continue to grow and improve, and he becomes like he slides into that second line role. Right now, it's looking good for Edmonton. Edmonton now entering the trade deadline, in third in the division. And this is what's difficult for me. Sometimes it is hard to say exactly because, hey, you have the powerhouse juggernauts of the league, but at the same time, it's building that cohesive bunch that can run through the playoffs, that can do damage in the playoffs. And we know, we've heard it time and time, year in, year in, year out. There's teams that are built for the playoffs, and there's teams that can just be regular season hockey clubs. And is adding these players to Edmonton's team, is that creating more of a playoff atmosphere, a playoff built sort of club? They're going to walk into the playoffs as the number 2 seed in the Pacific Division. They're going to face the Calgary Flames in the first round. Just take a quick peek, see how the team did. We'll see how Winnipeg did. On this team, Draisaitl 106 points, didn't miss a beat. And when you see that, and we see 99 points out of Kyle Connor, you say, couldn't McDavid and Draisaitl possibly did more than that together? You don't put them together, obviously, is the same situation. Zach Hyman or John Morrissey dropped 79 points. Cole Perfetti was playing low minutes and dropped 43 points. And most importantly here, this is what we're wondering, how the goaltender looked. 9-13. You talk about a big. I mean, if you want to know the difference, Stuart Skinner 6-6, 894 save percentage, 3.43 goals against, compared to Connor Hellbuck, the addition, 41-23-5, a 913 save percentage and a 2.73 goals against average, clearly making a big difference here for this hockey club. Edmonton finished with 3.5 points per game, still stellar, getting that goals against down to 2.93. The power play was still disgusting even without McDavid, 24%, dang near a quarter of the power play. The special teams was good as well. Looking at the entire league, New Jersey won the Presidents. Carolina was right behind them. 3 teams out of the Metro. The Metro just do what the Metro does. It looks like Edmonton still with 100 points. Did finish above. Did they even make playoffs? Did Winnipeg? No, they didn't. Winnipeg struggled, and they struggled mightily. When you gutted the team like that, 34-36 and 12 overtime losses, didn't even finish above 500. So on the premise, you look and say, hey, Connor McDavid, getting ready feels a good idea for Edmonton. And again, we said it was so important these guys being 25 because you expect McDavid in 10 years to still be Connor McDavid. I mean, he might be what Sidney Crosby is, which is still really freaking good. And that's ever so important as well. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get this playoff series a-cooking. That's 2-2 series tied 3-2. Edmonton finds themselves ahead heading into Calgary. They're going to win in game number 6. They're going to clinch that series. They're going to head on to Vancouver. In Vancouver, in the second round, the division-winning Vancouver Canucks, a young and talented team as well. And they're going to jump ahead 2-0 to the Edmonton Oilers. 3-0 to the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton might be bounced in the second round, even without Connor McDavid. And again, you did take away the best player on the planet. That's going to happen. Even without Connor McDavid, this team may not be making a deep playoff run. You're going to see Kyle Connor, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the goals, Edmonton with the 2-1 series or 2-1 lead, heading into period number 3 against the Vancouver Canucks. Can the Edmonton Oilers hold on to this lead, possibly take this to a game number 5? Right now, it's looking good. 3-1 lead, power play. Edmonton, Winnipeg, or Vancouver just keeps killing things off. Edmonton's going to come up empty-handed once again. Jeez. Oh, okay, Edmonton, that's all right. Go on and blow the lead. Go on and blow it. Go on and blow it. You know, you're down 3-0 here. Anyway, Vancouver coming all the way back. Edmonton was sitting on a power play dang near that entire period. They killed them both off. The momentum shifted, and Vancouver found themselves ahead in this game, or tied in this game, heading into overtime. Edmonton is just gonna avoid getting broom jobbed. It was Fogle with the goal. Edmonton lives to fight another day, down 3-1 in the series. They're gonna head back to Vancouver. If they can take this one, take the home one at home, all of a sudden things aren't looking too bad for this Edmonton Oilers hockey team, but they have to get there. Here we go. Game number 5, Edmonton v Vancouver. Vancouver is blowing out Edmonton in this one. Edmonton's gonna bounce back. Quinn Hughes gets the one goal, but Vander Kane, John Morrissey, and Sam Gagne with the goals. Edmonton within 1 power play ends empty-handed there. Vancouver gets the insurance goal. It is Elias Pettersson making it 5-3. Vancouver on the power play again, quickly caught up by Edmonton. Edmonton, can they capitalize on that 25% power play effectiveness? They cannot. Shot saved there by Connor Hellebuck on Quinn Hughes. Blockbuster as well, getting that top unit out there, peppering the shots. Vancouver's going to get the insurance goal, and Vancouver is going to win game 5, and they're going to win in the second round. And Edmonton was, without Connor McDavid being on this team and trading him, picked up some solid players, but at the end of the day, you game plan completely different. Your morale on this team is completely different. Your offensive production is completely different when you take off the best player in the planet from your team. So nonetheless, McDavid wasn't it. Trading him, you can live and feel comfortable, Edmonton, that trading him was not a good idea. Nonetheless, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.